Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm not sure exactly when you're listening to this recording, but I want you to know that I appreciate you taking the time to listen to this recording. My name is Clifton Pettyjohn. I am a purpose strategist, author of From Stagnation to Transformation, and I'm also an author of an upcoming book entitled What Now, which is the whole purpose of this recording, but we'll talk about that. I'm also a transformation coach. I provide ventilation through coaching, speaking, writing, and consultation. Now, that simply means I provide fresh air to your life when you're in those transitional moments and you're wrestling with what to do now. You seem to have hit a brick wall. You know there's more to life than now, and it becomes quite heavy on you. And sometimes when things are heavy on us, we feel closed in or boxed in, and we find it hard to just take a deep breath. I come in and become that momentary or temporary ventilation system for you. Therefore, I come in bringing in fresh air for you, causing your breathing to become easier as we develop a plan and a strategy for you, not just to keep hitting that brick wall, but now find out where's the opening in that wall that I can cause that wall to fall and I continue along my journey. So that's basically what I do. You want to learn more about what I do, definitely visit www.cliftonpettyjohn.com and you're going to find that information there. But let's go through what we're going to talk about on this video. Okay, guys? For those who are not aware, you just clicked on this because you saw it. First of all, thank you for clicking on it just because you saw it. But this is the first of two. And if they are continuing to be successful and there's a need for it, we will continue on with these gatherings. But this is the first of two book clubs / book discussions that we're going to have. Now, it was originally scheduled to be at the Trenton Starbucks today, which is Sunday, the 10th of March. However, I had to return to Delaware on Saturday. Therefore, we were not able to do it or host it at the Starbucks. Now, next month, I believe it's the 14th, or it's just, here we go, the second Saturday in April, we will be at the Starbucks at 4:30 p.m. hosting this event, okay? And if you are an aspiring author or an aspiring writer, you write poetry, you write music, you write books, whatever it is, you just have a collection of journals that you've written and you don't know what to do with it. You're scared of the publishing process. You're scared of everything that goes along with it. I want you to come. I want us to have a conversation. I want these events to turn into group coaching sessions. Sometimes we don't understand, and I say this all the time, how powerful a conversation is, or we don't understand how our creativity can be stimulated and stirred up even the more when we find ourselves amongst creatives. So I kind of want this to turn into a gathering of creatives where we come together, to draw energy and strength from each other, and we become resources to each other. These, as I said, I want this to grow from where it is right now. So if you're interested in it, and say you're out there and you're not near Trenton, but you love the virtual side of this, let me know so we can continue to provide this platform as well, through social media so that you can be a part of it. If you're an author out there and you would like to come on and share your story of your writing process and what you went through and the lessons you learned from it, please definitely do not hesitate to reach out to me so that we can have you on here. I know I don't have all the answers, but I believe that if we connect with the right people, we can find the answers, the resources, and the tools that we need in order to be successful in our everyday life. And that's the goal. My goal is, and my goal has always been, to push people to purpose. I want to push you to purpose as much as I can. Everything that's inside of me that I need to release in order to help you not just walk in your purpose, but own your purpose, become connected with your purpose, so that the energy, the aura is illuminated off of you, that it it begins to draw others that are doing the same thing or desire to do the same thing. So that's in a nutshell the purpose of these gatherings. Okay, so tonight what we're going to do is I'm going to talk about the preface of my upcoming book entitled What Now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read the preface to you. Why? Because I want you guys to be my beta readers. Well, in this instance, my beta listeners. I want you to listen. I want you to provide feedback in the comment section. You can DM me or you can email me. cpventilates at gmail.com. cpventilates at gmail.com. Give me, your honest feedback. Tell me thoughts about it. Guys, I want to know, if this preface, if it makes you like, oh, I want to purchase the book. I want to hear more about it. I want to know those things. I want to know if it's something that I could be doing better. I want to hear from you. As my audience, as my targeted market. I want to make sure that the material that we're putting out is something that's going to help you as well along your journey. Okay, so we're going to talk about that. And then I'm hoping, well, in this instance, I have a couple questions that have been submitted to me. I'm going to answer those questions about the writing process. I'm going to answer how to deal with the vulnerability if you are one that your writings aren't fictional stories. You are telling some of the most painful things that happened to you, some of the things that sometimes you ran from, you're scared of facing, you don't know how to handle telling that aspect of the story. We're going to talk about those, generally tonight. And like I said, if you would like direct answers concerning yourself, I'm going to do a special offer at the end. And I encourage you, don't fast forward through this to find out the offer, but listen, because you don't know, a question might be answered that you already have. But stay tuned for that special offer. All right, here we go. So this is the preface of my book entitled What Now? So here we are again, back for round 2. I really enjoyed writing From Stagnation to Transformation, although there were moments, as I'm sure I will experience with this project, where I had to walk away just for a moment. From Stagnation to Transformation forced me to turn and address a lot of the situations in my life that I had spent years running from. Now, this book will provide tools and strategies that I utilized during my recovery process from some of those personal situations. We all have those types of situations or defining moments that sometimes catch us off guard per se, or have hit you or hit us at a time where we feel like, not now. Have you ever had a not now moment, or perhaps moments where you are willing to face the situation or situations eventually, but just not now? Where you are willing to have the uncomfortable conversations eventually, but just not now. Life has taught me that those not now moments prove to be the most fitting of times to deal with the most challenging and undesirable situations. There I was sitting on the edge of the bed with my partner at the time, thinking, where do I go from here? You see, I was a person who never made decisions for my happy. I always felt obligated to do the right thing for the sake of people. Now, I'm not saying I always made the right decisions. However, my decisions were always with others in mind. My decisions were always with others in mind. Yet here I am this day, about to make a decision, or rather about to publicly announce a decision I had already made privately, knowing that this one decision will completely alter the trajectory of my life. I remember being nervous, scared, and yet optimistic. I sat on the edge of the bed wondering, how will I live or survive without them? them being everyone that had been my support system for many years through some of the most challenging situations and circumstances. Yet I understood that after this, I would no longer have them and many others as a safety net. I thought about what people would think and what they would say. I even considered how it would affect everybody and the effect it would have on our relationships moving forward. That was my approach towards major life decisions back then. I worked hard not to offend others with many of my personal life decisions. Understand, I was not always successful at it, but I definitely worked hard at it. My thoughts ranged from family members, ministry affiliates, the young people I mentored, and those who viewed me as a father figure. I had so many thoughts racing through my mind. However, the greatest thought was the questions of, well, Cliff, what if you don't do it? Will you ever be happy? Will you spend your entire life merely existing, or are you ready to live? Those questions outweighed all of the other thoughts and proved to be the most valuable variable in the entire equation. It was at that moment, after 30 plus years of merely existing, I was ready to live. Existing had become such a norm that I honestly felt like I was afraid to live. I will take it a step further. I did not know if I wanted to do the work required to live, nor did I want to face the consequences of standing for what I believed in because of the opposition I would face from so many people in my life that disagreed with the decision. You see, I never was one for confrontation. I avoided it at all costs. I was the epitome of passive. I'm laughing now because some of you who know me post-existing may not be able to imagine me being passive. Yet I was. I never wanted to rock the boat, nor play to the beat of my own drum. As a matter of fact, I did not believe I was skilled enough to play my own drum. I now realize not only am I skilled enough, but I am purposed to conduct the entire orchestra. Little did I know the process of becoming a conductor, or perhaps I knew, and that was another thing holding me back from being brave enough to submit to the process earlier in life. Well, I decided that day sitting on the side of the bed to make the decision to publicize that private decision. And I have to say, at that moment, I felt something I had never experienced, and that was freedom. It was as if for the first time in my life, I was being honest with myself and everybody. Now, granted, it was not that I was not being honest before the decision. I have since learned that I was evolving into the comfortability of who I was created to be. Now, I'm not going to give you a fairy tale story because it was not and still is not one. But I can say I discovered an inward peace which passes all understanding. The next day, I was flooded with text messages, phone calls, and Facebook inboxes. Some messages expressing support and others expressing disdain. This caused me to ponder the question that birthed this book. What now? We all have faced and will face what now moments. Our what now moments may differ. However, the question is as real and relevant in your circumstances as it is in mine. The key is that when we are asked, or we ask, what now, that we do not remain stuck there. that we begin to answer the question by properly assessing and addressing the situation or situations at hand. In this situation, I had not thought out my what now beyond the initial announcement. This led to me doing what had become so natural to me. I ran from it while encouraging others to face theirs head on. It was not until a couple of years later, while at an appointment with someone who was about to make a major life decision, that it all came full circle to me. During their appointment, they were advised that if they were going to make the decision they were about to make, then they needed to be prepared for everyone to walk away. I do not know why, but it was as if something clicked inside of me. I realized that although I was aware that everyone could have possibly walked away from my previous decision, in the back of my mind, I believed I would have been the exception to that reality. The truth I had to face was that I was far from the exception. That experience led to me finally facing the consequences of the decision I had made by having conversations about it with people I had originally run from. Now understand, those conversations did not lead to reconciliation, nor did they lead to people saying they respected my decision. I honestly did not go into it expecting that. It was more of a closure situation, and God teaching me how to stop running from everything by standing in the strength of the decisions I had made and eventually will make. So guys, that's the preface. That is the preface of What Now? And I want to hear from you. I want you to tell me what you think. I want your honest feedback. If you're like, man, I can't wait to hear the rest of it and how you dealt with it and how you moved on, and did you rebuild some relationships, and how are things now? If you're interested in all of that, because that is some of the things we're going to discover in What Now. Now, What Now, we're also going to deal with other situations, because this was not the only situation in my life, but we're going to present some other situations that many times leave us standing there saying, whoa, my world has been rocked or turned upside down. What now? What do I do now? Or some of us say, what do I do next? But we don't really need to worry about the next right now if we're not maintaining and focused on the now, because your now is going to produce your next. And we'll talk about all of that in the book as well. All right. So again, I want your feedback on that. I want to know what you guys are thinking, what you thought about it, how you feel it's going to end, and everything that you can give me. All the feedback is welcome, is wanted. I want you to understand that. Okay. Now let's get into a couple of questions. I want to talk to those that are aspiring authors and you're afraid of the process, or you're afraid of putting yourself out there. As I said, some of us have the responsibility, or I'm going to say the blessing, of sharing some of the things that we went through in order to help rescue others, either from the situation they're in or from hitting down that same path that we hit it down. That is rewarding, but at the same time, it can be challenging because it causes us to be vulnerable. And some of us, it's not about being sneaky, that vulnerability, kind of makes us cringe. Some of us are just private people. There's a difference between being sneaky and just being a private person. Now, one of the skills that you may learn to mature and or one of the skills you may learn that's important for you to become effective in that is to learn how to tell your testimony without telling your business. I often share how one of the things I had to learn is because I went from being a very closeted person. literally and figuratively. I went from being a closeted person or a very private person, and I'm still private about a lot of things, to a person where God required me to be transparent with everybody. Now, when you are transparent, that does not mean that you share those intimate details about your situation, but you begin to learn how to share those situations in a manner that helps rescue other people from it. So either way, you're still going to be vulnerable. It's going to put you out there. It's going to have people looking at you differently. They're going to talk about you. But one of the things you have to understand and you have to come to in life is that your purpose is greater than people. However, your purpose is connected to people. And what I mean by that, your purpose is greater than the thoughts, the words, and the actions of those that will be in opposition of what you've been created to do. Your purpose is greater than that. And until you grasp that, you will not be able to fully walk in your purpose, because you will still be subjugated to the thoughts and opinions and actions of others. But once you allow yourself to break free from that, then you'll understand that your purpose is connected to a people that need to hear the message that is inside of you, whether it's through reading a book, whether it's through hearing you make a speech, whether it's through a song, whether it's through a rap, whether it's through poetry, whatever it is, whatever creative, innovative ideas that you have, people are waiting for that. Do you understand that, honestly, that there are people that are connected to your purpose? I'm talking, yes, you. I know your whole life you've been the one that was looked over. You were the one that people didn't think much of. You didn't always get the best grades. You didn't always have the best. You struggled. You went through homelessness. There was times you didn't know where your next meal was going to come from. You seem as if you always were in impoverished situations, and it just seemed like there's no way, no hope, no how. You had dreams. You thought about being a doctor. You thought about being a lawyer. You thought about being an athlete. You thought about all of those things so that you can come and rescue others. But I want you to know there's still hope for you, if that's the path that you desire to take, or if your path takes you another way. You know, my dream was to be a professional baseball player. However, I talk about this in another video. My work ethic just was not there. It wasn't there because I hadn't grasped anything that I was passionate enough about to completely sell out to it. Until now, you know, I understand now what it is to completely fall in love with something where you sell out to it. And what I've done is, first of all, I fell in love with the Creator. And when I fell in love with the Creator, it caused me to fall in love with the purpose and design that He had for my life. And when I fell in love with that, I realized that I will forsake all, I will end all for the sake of my purpose. So my encouragement to you is, I always say it, dream again. Go back to when you were a child. Close your eyes. Think about what you want to be, and then be it. It's that simple. You might say, nah, it's not even possible. You don't know if it's possible. Stop psyching yourself out prior to you stepping out and doing anything. Stop doing that. Understand, and especially you that have creative minds that can tell a story. You might be able to illustrate a story in a manner that I can't do. And I'm also talking, I did not mention this, but I want to talk to illustrators too, those who have the gift of drawing, that can do the illustrative side of books. I want to talk to you because you have that private. I remember I had a student, and I've always been like this. I started working with kids when I was 19 years old. And I always wanted to pull out of them that which was inside of them. I never wanted to require out of them what was not inside of them, what was beyond their ability. I believe that they had endless possibilities within their ability, if that makes sense to you. And that same thing with you. You have endless possibilities within your ability. The problem is that sometimes we're trying to do what other people are doing. No, just do you. I know it's crazy. I know it seems radical. I know it seems innovative. I know you may feel like, man, nobody is going to feel this, but you don't know. Even if you're an artist and your artistry is drawing on shoes, you don't know. You could, I'm telling you, I just want to meet with as many creatives as possible, because I want to help position you where you need to be to reach the maximum fulfillment of that purpose in your life. So I encourage you, It's a process, but you have to start somewhere. You have to start somewhere. So here's the special offer I want to give to you before we get off of here. I told you I wasn't going to hold you long. Or did I tell you that? I probably didn't tell you that. But I want you to know I'm not going to hold you long. We're getting ready to go. But my special offer, I want to sit down with you. You're watching this video right now and you're wondering, okay, this sounds good. This sounds great. But is he talking to me? This, I'm talking to you. I don't care if you're laying on your bed, sitting on your bed, if you're sitting in the living room, if you're walking, listening to this, if you're at work, listening to this, you know better because you should be working. But if you're at work listening to this and you still feel like, I feel like he's talking to me, but I just don't know. That's not a problem. I want you to head over to www.cliftonpettyjohn.com. All right. On the home screen, you're going to scroll all the way up or down. Scroll down. It'll be scrolling up, but at the bottom of it, you'll see coaching session. I think it's a coaching program or something. Click on that. I want you to click on it. And then you scroll all the way down. And it says complimentary session. Guys, I usually offer a 15-minute complimentary session. But for you, because you're so special to me and your purpose is so special and your book is special and your writings are special, you just don't understand like the intensity of what's inside of you, or the possibility of what's inside of you. That's why I want to have a personal conversation with you, because I'm not trying to hype you up. I'm not trying to sell you false hope. I'm just simply trying to get you to tap into that which is already inside of you. That's all I'm trying to get you to do. So listen, I'm taking the complimentary coaching to the next level. I'm going to offer you a 60-minute complimentary coaching session. It'll be a call. We can either do a video call or we can do, a phone call. However, I'm going to give you 60 minutes of my time. Now, I want to tell you, that's usually valued at $125 per coaching session. But I want to invest in you. Let me invest in you because I believe in the purpose inside of you. Now, this investment comes with no strings attached. You don't owe me any money after this investment. My hope is that you would sign up for the coaching program beyond it. But that 60 seconds, I'm going to give you the tools, the resources, everything that you need to get started, to get some things in motion. But you got to go and sign up. It's that simple. That's my special offer to you. While you're there, also, I encourage you to pick up a copy of From Stagnation to Transformation. I think it's book number 1 in the tab on my website. When you go there, though, go to the page of the book, because you're going to see testimonies of people that have read the book. But also, guys, guess what else I'm giving you now? Check this out. I'm just in a giving mood right now. I'm giving you a free sample of the book. This is a 21-day coaching actuation designed to management purpose, okay? So all it means is it's a 21-day daily devotional. You're going to be inspired on some days. It's going to cause you to face some things from your past that you've ran from. It's going to cause you to make some decisions for the right now so that you can produce the future that you desire, to produce the future that's connected to your purpose. It's also going to challenge you to develop a plan of action. You're going to hear me talk a lot about planning in it. But as I said, it's broken down into 21 days. You get the first day free. It's called First Steps. Hashtag First Steps. And I guarantee you, after you read First Steps, you're going to want to purchase the book. And I encourage you to make that investment into your now, as I said, to produce that purposeful future. All right. But don't forget, guys, we're going to meet back again next month, but we're going to be at the Trenton Starbucks. So if you're in the area, tell somebody about it. I don't care what stage you are at writing. Even if you've got ideas up here that you haven't put to paper, come, be a part of it. I need to feel the electricity of that which is inside of you so that you can feel the electricity inside of me, and then we can shock each other to producing. All right. Listen, as I always say, create a great day, walk in your purpose, and by all means, exercise your vision. Be blessed.